Did you want me to start?
Yes, thank you, Vinod and Bhavika. Kelly, yeah, we can go, so we'll be on time and move forward. Yes, thank
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. You can turn the slide. My name is Kelly Burton, and I'm an assistant professor here in strategic design and the founder of Next Impact, where my work sits at the intersection of value design, innovation, and legal constraints. Last summer, I worked specifically on environmental policy design with a focus on microplastics and microfibers. And what I want to share today is an example of policy success and what it might offer as a template for future organizers and designers. Next slide. I was curious about understanding why some environmental justice policies move. Environmental justice reform is often framed as a knowledge problem. If we just had better data, better solutions, better technology, policy would follow. And that is absolutely true. But in many cases, the science already exists, the harms are well documented, and yet policy stalls. What's often missing is not information, it's alignment. Data sits in academic institutions with the purpose of publishing or with NGOs with the purpose of fundraising, but doesn't always make its way into the hands of innovators or policymakers. But when they do, then policy can move quickly. Next slide. One way to see that clearly is through the microbead ban. Microbeads are tiny plastic particles used in personal care products like exfoliating scrubs, which can be found to pass through wastewater systems and then accumulate in the aquatic environments. Microbeads were very, very small, but clearly defined, and a source of plastic pollution that rose into public society awareness around 2013. And why? Because four conditions aligned. First, there was credible data. Scientific evidence clearly showed environmental harm. Second, there was public salience. The issue was easy to understand and highly visible. Tiny plastics in everyday products made the problem tangible. Third, coordinated advocacy. NGOs, scientists, and advocates aligned around a clear, unified ask. And fourth, upstream policy design. The intervention targeted the source of the harm, and Barack Obama signed the Federal Microbead Free Waters Act in 2015, making it a law of the land. This wasn't just a technical solution, it was a politically viable one. And substitutes existed. Some firms had already begun phasing out microbeads, and public pressure was building. But that combination, feasibility, pressure, and coordination, made it possible to translate an upstream solution into law. When these conditions align, policy can move quickly. And by contrast, many environmental justice issues today lack this alignment. The harm is diffuse, advocacy is fragmented, and policy responses remain downstream. Last slide, please. So, what does this mean for advancing environmental justice policy today? It suggests that the progress depends less on identifying the right solution and more on designing for alignment. And there are three practical tactics here. First, we need to make the harm quantifiable. We need to translate complex system issues into impacts that are visible, relatable, and difficult to ignore. Second, we need to coordinate the efforts. Fragmentation across stakeholders weakens the political traction, and alignment strengthens it. And third, we need to target upstream leverage points, focusing on interventions that reshape the system itself rather than reacting to or managing downstream systems. The takeaway is this: the question is not just what should we do, it's what conditions make this politically and socially possible. Because when those conditions align, policy can move quickly and it can move equitably. Last slide. If you're working on policy, advocacy, or design in this space, I'd be very interested to hear how you're thinking about alignment and where it's breaking down. And feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Kelly and